All right, let's talk about something that comes up in pretty much every system design interview: rate limiting. It might sound a bit dry, but trust me, it's the secret sauce, the unsung hero that keeps everything from crashing. So let's just dive right in.
So picture this. You've got one user, could be a bot, could be a buggy script, who knows. And they just start pummeling your API. We're talking 1,000 requests every single second. What happens? What breaks first?
Yeah, it's a total catastrophe. The system just gets completely overwhelmed. All your resources get eaten up and poof, the whole service goes down for everyone. That right there, that's the nightmare scenario we're trying to prevent.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the problem, bring in the solution, check out the different algorithms, see how it works in the real world, and then wrap it all up into the answer that's going to ace your interview.
Okay, first things first, we have to really understand the why behind all this. Before we even think about a solution, we've got to get to grips with just how dangerous an unprotected API call really is.
So, how do you stop that out-of-control flood of requests? Well, you put up a gatekeeper. And that gatekeeper, that's our rate limiter. It's literally the first line of defense protecting our entire system.
Okay, so what is rate limiting, really? It's basically controlling the flow of traffic to your service, and it does three super important things. First, it prevents that system overload we talked about, keeps the lights on. Second, it protects you from bad actors. Think DDoS attacks, where someone is deliberately trying to take you down. And third, and this is key, it ensures fair play. It makes sure that no single user can just hog all the resources and ruin the experience for everyone else.
And here's how it works in a nutshell. A client sends a request, but, and this is the important part, it doesn't go straight to your server. Nope, the rate limiter steps in first. It acts like a bouncer, checking its list. Is this user under their limit? If the answer is yes, great, come on in. The request goes through. If the answer is no, it gets rejected, usually with that classic 429 too many requests error. The server is totally protected.
All right, now for the fun part, the real nitty-gritty. How does this gatekeeper actually make its decisions? This is where the algorithms come in. There are a few different ways to do this, and each one has its own pros and cons. Let's break down the big ones.
Okay, let's start with the most basic one, fixed window. It's super simple. Imagine you have a rule, say 100 requests per minute. The system just starts a 1-minute timer and counts every request that comes in. As soon as that minute is up, bam, the counter resets to 0 and we start all over again. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? Well, there's a catch.
So the good news is, it's easy to build and doesn't take much memory. The bad news? It has a huge loophole. Think about it. A user could send all 100 requests in the very last second of one window, and then immediately send another 100 in the very first second of the next window. You see the problem? That's 200 requests in just 2 seconds. It totally defeats the purpose of a 100 per minute limit. This is what we call the burst issue. So, to fix that burst problem, we get a little smarter with the sliding window. Instead of these hard, fixed 1-minute blocks, the window is constantly moving. Whenever a new request comes in, the system looks back and asks, how many requests have I seen in the last 60 seconds, from right now? It does this by keeping a list of timestamps. As time goes on, the older timestamps just slide off the list. It's a much more accurate picture.
And this works. It gives you incredibly precise rate limiting. That whole boundary issue, gone. But there's always a but, isn't there? The trade-off here is memory. You have to store a timestamp for every single request. For a service with tons of traffic, that can get really, really expensive, really fast.
Okay, pro tip time. If you only remember one of these for your interview, make it this one, the token bucket. This is the one everybody loves, and for good reason. Just imagine a bucket. The system is constantly adding tokens to this bucket at a nice, steady pace, like maybe 10 tokens per second. Now, every time a request wants to get through, it has to grab one token from the bucket. If the bucket's empty, sorry, you're not getting in.
And here is its superpower, handling bursts of traffic beautifully. Let's say a user hasn't sent any requests for a while. Their bucket just keeps filling up with tokens. Then, all of a sudden, they need to send a bunch of requests at once. No problem. They can use up all those saved up tokens for a quick burst. It's this awesome flexibility, but it still guarantees that over time, they can't go faster than the rate the tokens are added. It really is the best of both worlds.
Now there's a close cousin called the Leaky Bucket. It's a bit different. With this one, requests get put into a queue, kind of like a line at the bank, and they're processed at a fixed, constant speed, one by one. Think of it like water dripping from a leaky bucket. It's always a steady drip, no matter how much water you pour in at the top. If the queue gets full, new requests are just turned away. This is perfect when you need to smooth out spiky traffic into a predictable, steady stream.
Okay, let's wrap all that up in a quick summary. Fixed window, super simple but terrible at handling bursts. Sliding window, really accurate but a memory hog. Token bucket, the fan favorite. It handles bursts like a champ and is easy on the memory. And leaky bucket, its whole job is to smooth things out. Okay, so everything we've talked about so far works perfectly if you only have one server. But let's be real, modern systems are built on dozens, hundreds, even thousands of servers. And when you go distributed, you run into a whole new, really tricky problem. So here's the issue. Imagine your limit is 100 requests per second and you have 10 servers. If each server has its own counter, a user could hit each server with 100 requests. That's 1,000 requests a second, totally blowing past your limit. So the solution is to have one central place, a single source of truth for the count that all the servers share. And the go-to tool for this, the industry standard, is a lightning-fast in-memory store like Redis.
All right, we've got the theory down. Now let's package all of this up into the perfect interview answer, the kind that shows you don't just know the definitions, you know how to apply them.
First off, you have to show you know where this stuff actually matters. You'd use it on a login API, right? To stop brute force attacks where someone tries to guess a password over and over. You'd absolutely use it on a payment API to prevent fraud and stop people from testing stolen credit cards. And of course, for any public API, it's all about ensuring fair usage for your developer community. So when the interviewer asks you about it, don't just jump into algorithms. Start high level. Say something just like this. It immediately shows that you're thinking about the big picture, the health of the system and the experience of the user, not just the code.
Then you make a specific recommendation, and, this is crucial, you explain why. Saying you'd choose the token bucket is good. Saying you'd choose it because it's efficient and handles traffic bursts gracefully is what makes you stand out. It proves you understand the real-world trade-offs.
Okay, let's bring it all home. These are the key principles you need to remember whenever you're talking about rate limiting.
So, there you have it. Rate limiting is your system's front door security guard. It protects you from overload and makes sure everyone plays fair. But a great system designer is always thinking 2 steps ahead. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Now that you've secured the front door, what's the next bottleneck? Where does the system break next? Thanks for joining me.